Yeah, are you guys ready?
No, Eric went. Where the hell did he go? I just literally saw him go out the door and now he's running down the sidewalk. I wish I was fucking kidding. What the hell, man?
They smoke like a bath salt
he's
lace
running
cigarette.
back. Hold on, whatever it was. He's running back. What the hell are you doing?
Are you fucking
he left
for
his
real?
bang out in the car.
I'm surprised you didn't wolf down a cigarette while you were out there running.
Just puffing it while he was running.
Did you guys just think I just bolted for a cigarette?
I literally just said, I don't know what the hell just happened, but Eric went out the front door and I just saw him running down the sidewalk.
To get to my car. My energy drink was in the car. I was like, I seized the moment. I was like, okay, we have at least the amount of time.
You didn't seize it. We were all really because the minute the door shut, Tyler's like, "All right, everybody ready?" I'm like, "No, where the hell did Eric go?"
You gotta be kidding me. Damn it.
You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome everyone to Cultober.
Hey!
Yes, we're rolling on with Cultober, and today we are doing this is the second John Carpenter movie we've done in the Cultober history. Last year we kicked off things with Halloween.
Yeah,
and we're bringing back our second John Carpenter, which I think we should make that a tradition with Cultober. I think Cultober should at least have one John Carpenter.
Ooh,
at least one. There's plenty in there. There's They Live.
The time to start.
Vampires.
They Live, man. I'm chomping at the bit to do They Live. I'm actually kind of sad that we missed that. That is such a good movie.
Well, there's always Cultober 3.
We're starting traditions.
Yeah, start traditions. Yeah.
They Live is phenomenally campy.
That is a great one. That's the other one with Keith David in it too.
Yeah, it is.
But today we are doing 1982's The Thing. Now, what a lot of people don't know about The Thing, which a lot of true fans do, but most casual people don't understand, is like The Thing in itself is a remake and also an adaptation of a novella.
Yeah, it's a remake of a movie of a story.
And
the story's called Who Goes There?
Yes, and I seen there also, and the original movie is called The Thing from Another World.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So which came out in 1951.
Me and Eric were kicking around, and people can let us know if this is something they would be interested in us doing. Is next year doing The Thing from Another World and doing Who Goes There?
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. I've seen just recently, just this year or last year. They released a new edition of Who Goes There?
Oh,
because the author's daughter found unfinished manuscripts for earlier chapters.
Oh, sweet!
Wow.
Oh,
yeah. So
that's cool.
She found that in his old desk, I believe. So there is a new edition they put out very recently, and I think that there's a new Thing remake coming out, reboot, reimagine.
Yeah, there's a shit stain coming out with its name on it.
Didn't I think Platinum Dunes got a hold of it? I think, if I remember right.
Who cares? Who literally cares who owns that property? It's just gonna be another shit remake that nobody fucking asked for.
Yeah. Well, technically, The Thing's never been remade, even though they call it. I hate when these. Like, what is the trend with these new movies where it's like a sequel, prequel, but they just call it the title of the original movie?
Right, like they did it with The Predator already.
That was different because it was The Predator, but
right, yeah.
The first one was Predator, but they did it with Halloween. The Thing.
There we go.
And Scream, because Scream 6 was technically just called Scream. Halloween 2 is technically just called Halloween.
Creative bankruptcy is what leads to that bullshit.
And then The Thing, for whatever reason, they just called it The Thing, even though it was a prequel to The Thing. So,
you're right. That's a trend.
Creative bankruptcy.
Yeah,
it's sheer laziness.
Like yeah, because if you look at like the Halloween franchise, now you have Halloween, maybe Halloween 2. Then Halloween 2 is kind of like loose canon right now after the last one. So it's like Halloween kills, Halloween ends. So it's like really weird. And like with Scream, it's what Scream 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's Scream 1 and 2, and then after that, the series ended.
Yeah.
We went back in time and put that motherfucker out of its misery.
I'm fine with that canon.
Yeah.
But The Thing has never been remade. There was a very interesting project back in like early 2000s that I remember reading about because I used to subscribe to the Sci-Fi Channel magazine back in the day.
Of course you did.
Because I couldn't get enough Sci-Fi Channel, so I had to have it.
You had to get the magazine, right?
But there was a mini series that John Carpenter was producing for the Sci-Fi Channel. I remember reading an article about it, an interview with John Carpenter, and that just like never happened. And it was going to be a sequel series to The Thing.
I'm sure Netflix will pick it up.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go.
I bet it have Melissa McCarthy in it. But
they'll have the makers of that new Resident Evil.
oh my god,
That was too soon. That was too
I made it to like I think 6 or halfway through episode 6, and I think the only reason I watched it that far is to find out what happened to them when they were kids. That was the only interesting part of that.
I made the 4. I made the 4.
I want literally everybody involved, from the writer, the director, the screenplay, the producer, every actor involved. I want all of their careers to torch for that abomination.
Ooh.
You all deserve it. If you can't,
I don't know. I think Fat John Wick did a really good job.
Fat John Wick was was the only interesting character of the thing.
Listen,
and they just
if you can't
kill him.
John Wick.
Yeah.
why.
You haven't seen it?
I
No.
haven't
seen it?
You got to watch the fight scene when they're in the Brotherhood compound.
That's only there's one episode, it's like third or fourth episode. There's like a really cool fight scene with the coolest character in the show, and they just kill him off. And
I mean, you can tell from like the way he's moving and shooting and everything. He either knew what he was doing before, or he did a lot of training for that role.
Yeah, it was bad. He was the only good character, and they just kill him off. So like, oh wait, this is way too entertaining. I think what it was is like when he was on screen, you instantly got drawn to him
because he was a guy.
It was taking away. Yeah,
they killed him because he was a guy, and he was taking
man.
away the attention.
He was a white man, and in my opinion,
I was getting ready to say,
killed a whole lot of them. Killed a whole lot of them. In my
I even at this point, like that seems to be such a bad series that even Lance is his name Lance Reddick. That's
Lance Reddick. Yeah,
he can take a torch too, because dude, if you can't read that screenplay and like understand that this is a bad project, then you're just gonna keep pumping out this fucking garbage, man. You can't say yes to every goddamn thing that comes along, man.
That's Lance Reddick's problem too. Is he's such a good actor, but he does a lot of really.
Who was Lance Reddick?
He plays Wesker.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed his role up until.
Yeah,
until I turned
there were like I don't know, there were like 3 of them or 4 of them or something like that, and it just jumping the shark shit, man.
I didn't get to that point where there was clones of him.
Well, speaking of things that need to be told,
Oh God!
What a coincidence!
So the thing, of course, John Carpenter classic. Now, this movie, when it came out, was almost universally panned.
Yeah, people hated it.
Really? When released.
Oh yeah, it was a big flop.
There was a couple magazines that named it like the worst movie of the year, most hated film.
Whoa.
But all these critics. But this is a rare occasion, one of the rare occasions in like cinema, where you'll have all these critics who just could not wait to shit on the movie. Years later, came out and said, "Oh wait, this is actually a masterpiece," and had to eat crow and came out and apologized.
Do you know what other movie came out that year that the exact same thing happened to?
What's that?
Blade Runner.
Yes.
Oh,
it came out the exact same year as The Thing. They both got the dog shit beat out of them by E.T.
Yeah, that was what a lot of people. I've always read like a lot of people theorize the reason The Thing got received so cold. Such a cold reception is because E.T. had just came out, I think, 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So America was caught up in E.T. mania, where it was like cute, cuddly aliens.
aliens.
No.
And then here comes The Thing.
Let me stop you there. First of all, The Thing is way less fucking scarier than fucking E.T. Let me tell you that. No, I have hated E.T. I don't like E.T. what so fucking ever.
E.T. is
no.
Have you ever seen?
Terrible.
Have you ever watched Mac and Me?
No.
Oh my God, Mac and Me. That's a wild one. It was the E.T. knockoff, and for some, I think Coca-Cola like pushed it really heavy for some reason. Yeah, really bad movie. Really shitty flick. You ever watch it? You ever seen clips? I think Paul Rudd had like a bit on Conan O'Brien, where whenever they'd have Paul Rudd come on to Conan O'Brien and like show a clip from whatever new movie he was in, he would show a clip from Mac and Me instead, and then they would just roll on like he just showed the clip from the movie he was in. Like he would come on and be like, "Oh, here's a clip from Ant-Man or whatever."
Damn, he could.
And then they would just see a clip from Mac and Me, and then they just roll on like they just watched the clip.
Could have at least picked The Curse of Michael Myers, man. Damn.
Well, he's not in Mac and Me. That's the thing. It was completely out of context.
Oh, I thought it was
not
like
Mac
his
and
early
Me
films.
It's just like a legendarily bad movie.
Yeah, it's just like an iconic bad movie.
Yeah, but so is The Curse of Michael Myers, and he was in that.
Oh yeah, that was a rough one. But
although
today,
it's Danielle Harris.
That's just such an interesting like mythology in Halloween, where she's like in like those really shitty Thorn trilogy or whatever.
But everybody,
and then she just comes back in the Rob Zombie movies,
right? But everybody likes her as a horror actress, and so they kind of it's like the one thing they take from it.
Yeah,
because that Martha Thorne shit was weird.
Yeah.
Did you? Speaking of weird sequels, did you know that there was a Dark Horse Comics sequel to The Thing, and then also the video game that John Carpenter said is canon?
I did. I played the video game back in the day.
That video game
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I always thought it'd be cool to see like someone port that. They never did the port of it, but I remember it was like even like very highly regarded when it came out because you actually there was like a trust system and everything with it, which was like revolutionary from a
yeah.
Like, and you actually build trust amongst like the CPUs.
Yep. If you gave them weapons and stuff, they trusted you more. If you didn't, but if you didn't trust them and you didn't give them stuff, then it could start a spiral where they didn't trust you, and
it started to turn against you in the game.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I'm not helping you, asshole. You might be the Thing.
But
so like one of the NPCs could be the Thing the whole time, and
and if it was a particular trigger, or like say you ran into one of the creatures in the game and you started to fight it, if it was just you and another person who was the Thing fighting the creature, the person would then turn on you and try to turn you.
Oh.
So
that's really interesting. They should do that today.
It was a tough game. It was a tough game to play, as I recall. It was difficult. But the thing is,
Dark Horse Comics, I watched I think Film Comics Explained, I think is what the YouTube channel is called.
Oh yeah.
They do a really good like issue by issue breakdown of that. That's how I've watched. I watched like their issue by issue breakdown of that, and it's a pretty interesting sequel.
Yeah, it was. I read a few issues because it was way back when it came out, and we used to have a comic shop in town that would carry all the Dark Horse stuff, so they had them. But if John Carpenter considers the video game to be canon, then neither Childs nor McCready are the Thing at the end. And I have maintained all along that neither one of them are the Thing.
John Carpenter has said in interviews for like he's even talked about the whole like so everyone has a theory we're spoiling the movie, but I'm sure if you've obviously watched The Thing if you're watching this movie. Yes. I don't think any of our audience has not watched The Thing 1982, but everyone always has that thing of like you can see McCready's breath, you can't see Child's breath. Right. And I remember like John Carpenter was like, no, it must just be like a filming thing. It was never intentional.
And you actually can see his breath if you look close enough.
Can you?
Yes. Because I've also heard like, did we mention the eye gleam?
That's just a camera problem with the fire.
So it's not an actual.
No. And then the other one is that McCready gave Childs gas at the end of that in his bottle, but that's not supported by anything.
That one too.
And in fact, if you look right as Childs is getting ready to walk up on him, McCready's actually getting ready to take a drink from the bottle himself.
Oh, no kidding.
So
plus, I can't see it like I feel like it would still recognize gasoline.
It would, because it recognizes that you have to cover up DNA, that it recognizes all the memories that other people. So if Childs has ever drank gasoline or drank whiskey, you would know the difference.
Right.
Now we're saying these names, McCready, Childs. McCready, of course, is Kurt Russell.
Fucking Kurt Russell.
Childs is Keith David. Two actors who are kind of John Carpenter staples. And this stars a bunch of other people, like Wilford Diabetes Brimley.
Oh my gosh, that was him?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Whoa. I don't think I recognized him.
I think there's only two characters.
Yeah, he just didn't have his mustache.
Yeah.
There's the only guys I think I really recognize. All great actors. All great actors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Wilford.
Not any slight on them, but
Wilford had quite a career on him.
That is true.
And so this came out in 1982. It had a budget of $15 million.
Yeah.
And it was able to pull in a budget of 19.6. So it was technically a flop.
Yeah.
We've discussed on this channel before. It's like 2.5 you have to make to be successful.
Barely broke the surface.
Barely broke the surface of the base budget. So it did not pull off. But out of that $15 million, $1.5 million of that was spent on the creature effects.
And that's where it really paid off, because even though the movie flopped, at the time, other creature and FX designers recognized it as groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that.
So that was never lost on them, even when the film flopped.
It did a bunch of awards, didn't it?
It probably got a bunch of technicals.
Accolades.
Yeah, I think when it came out, I think it probably got like a bunch of like technicals, and I think it got a lot of awards from like really like niche horror magazines and stuff. I think we're pretty fond of it.
Right. Yeah.
But it mainly got panned because a lot of it was the E.T. mania effect.
Yeah, it was just way too gruesome.
Yeah, people saw it as kind of like this like nihilistic.
And I mean, I kind of get it though.
Mean-spirited kind of movie. Yeah, I mean, when you're taking E.T. and putting against the Thing, I mean, there's obviously some tonal differences there.
Slight, yeah.
Yeah, slight tonal differences between the two. I can see some people having a indifference toward them.
I mean, so, I can actually kind of see the similarity. It is like, just an alien that's stranded on a planet, just trying to find his way in the world, man.
Oh my god! No, when we were watching this today, Eric was like following it on from the point of view of the creature. So he's just like, "Run! You're by yourself. You're surrounded."
Well, there is some interesting stuff I always read of like the Thing. It's like not ever. It's almost like it just wants to get out. Like it doesn't ever attack unless it's provoked.
Well, yeah, but only
because it's trying to do it.
And all it's trying to do is make a ship. So it could just be it's trying to get the fuck off Earth.
Oh my god!
And everyone it gets a little bit ahead. It's trying to get the fuck out of there, and someone comes up on it. It has to, it just triggers a fight or flight defense, and it's just trying to get the fuck off this planet.
And that crazy, just because one crazy scientist is like, no, it's going to take over the whole fucking world. It could do it in like X amount of time. But you're right. He could have. You know what? I think you're right.
Ursa, are you buying this bullshit?
No.
Thank you. Okay. Me and Ursa are very strongly anti-alien.
If it was going, if it got away, it would have assimilated into the population, and then we would have.
You don't think it would have just got the fuck off the planet?
No. Why would it?
Why would it stay here?
Food.
To get in a debt? To have to file taxes?
I'm pretty sure it's like a group tax.
You make a good argument there.
Ursa's like, okay, get me in this ship.
Yeah, let's all get the fuck off this planet. Okay. All right, so you guys ready to talk about 1982's The Thing?
Yes.
All right. Cultober, let's get into it. I don't know what we put there. Let's get spooky. There.
Let's get
never do that again.
I love it.
That's terrible.
Cue that music that I know we're gonna have.
So, Rob Zombie's The Munsters.
Is it out?
No, it is.
No,
I mean, it will be by the time this drops, I think.
Yeah.
Straight to stream.
Straight to Netflix.
Yeah, totally
Netflix.
check out our review.
You know what? I actually watched a video. That trailer was not finished.
No shit. You think?
Yeah. and I guess like the theory is, like, people are going wild over it. I guess Rob Zombie had to edit that himself because the studio didn't want to put enough money into. And that's why it has like the really cheap fonts and shit in it, and that's why it wasn't color graded.
Huh.
I guess the studio was done putting money into it when he wanted to go release a trailer. They had just not. They were just over the movie.
I call bullshit.
Oh, that's
no, I believe that. That's kind of
encouraging.
So he had to edit it himself, and that's why it uses iMovie text and everything with it.
Huh.
So.
Does it have the watermark?
No. Oh my god! Could you imagine if he used like. Didn't even. They were like, "We're not paying for the app. Use the trial."
Ran out of budget.
You know what? So much of that movie's problems could be solved if he had just shot it in black and white.
Well, there's actually the. Have you guys watched the DVD trailer for it yet? Like the coming soon a DVD one yet?
I don't. No, I don't.
It's actually a lot better because it's actually it's a studio made trailer. So the studio must did that trailer. It is shorter. It's like a minute something, but it's actually color graded.
Okay.
It looks less cheap. I'll say that. Like it actually is color graded. So
I don't know that whole. We haven't even touched the stuff that was actually in that fucking trailer.
No, we should do a whole video on that later or earlier, sooner before this. I don't know.
Who would have thought that doing the Munsters but having more Transylvania would have been a bad idea?
Right.
Because it actually seems to suffer from that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
But what I think we really need to figure out is when's the first time you guys watched 1982's The Thing?
God, I knew you were going to ask that.
Yeah.
So I'll be the first to say I have no fucking idea when the first time I saw this movie was.
I have a vague idea of when. I remember I got it from Walmart in the $5 bin, like very early. Like I think it's probably the second or third DVD I ever got. Like,
boy, that bin was just a treasure trove for you, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it really is. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
People can look up his arrest record from when they actually pried him out of there.
Yeah, I was just living in it at one point. But
you had a battery operated DVD player.
It was his trash can.
But I got a lot of movies from when I was a kid. It's kind of like where I spawned. Like, hey, there is like nice little piece of trash. It's one man's trash is other man's treasure, and I'll pay $5 for it.
There we go.
So,
yeah,
but I found a thing in there. And like I said, this is probably like the second or third DVD. You know why my dad actually bought a DVD player? So we had a VHS player for like ever. Like
he held off on the DVD player.
He held off on it because it was too expensive. He's a farmer. He didn't want to put, there's better things to spend money on.
Tapes are just fine.
Yeah. I had Sci-Fi Channel, but I wanted a DVD player. But the reason he bought a DVD player, Tremors 3.
Tremors 3.
Good man.
Yes, Tremors 3.
Thank God they made it.
It came out. It wasn't on VHS. My dad loves Tremors. And it was a DVD exclusive, so my dad was like, "Oh shit!" So we bought a DVD player so we could watch Tremors 3.
I have such.
That's why my dad bought it. That's why my family finally got a DVD player.
Wow.
The Tremors.
I have such
Tremors
fond
3.
memories of that movie, but that movie's pure garbage.
I had a friend that I worked with that bought an HD DVD player.
Ooh, nice.
I'm fucking sorry for that guy.
Yeah,
poor dude.
Aren't HD DVDs actually better than Blu-ray? I feel like I've heard that somewhere.
There was like something like that. I think it was like there was like very big proponents of it. But
Picture
the reason
is actually better.
Is it really?
I think it was better technically, and I think it held more storage. But Blu-rays were cheaper to produce.
Yeah,
and Sony,
and that is
Sony.
Well, what it was Sony put it in the PlayStation.
Anymore.
Sony put it in the PlayStation, which sold more than the Xbox, and also porn companies backed Blu-ray because it was cheaper.
Always.
Yep.
Yeah. That same thing happened with VHS and Betamax.
Damn dicks.
Yep.
I mean, exactly. And that was pre-internet, so to watch porn, you had to buy your movies.
If you want to make a technological change, man, you get yourself backed by the porn industry.
There's somewhere out there. There's like a Sega Dreamcast guy in a retirement home who's still raging at porn for sinking.
Hey, Sega Dreamcast was fucking ahead of its time, okay?
It was, yeah.
That makes me so mad. That's what I wanted. That's the only thing I wanted was a fucking Sega Dreamcast, and I got it. And they came out with like 15 games.
And then it died.
Yeah, it died. I remember my grandma bought me a Dreamcast game once. Because I had a PlayStation. She bought me a Dreamcast game. That's why they had a Dreamcast. I remember my grandma get me this like SOCOM game, and I got it out. I was getting ready to put it in my PlayStation. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh
and
my
it was
God,
a Dreamcast.
These are all relics to Bailey.
She's sitting over here looking at us like we have lobsters crawling out.
I understand. I understand it is a game.
It is a game, an ancient form of game.
We're not. We'll take her down the Dreamcast thing later. We got a movie to cover.
Yeah, we have a movie to cover. So, that was the first time I ever watched the thing. I got out of the $5 bin. I watched it, fell in love with it immediately. And I remember it being like one of those movies I'd put in like constantly. Like, I'd watch whatever, I'd throw in things. I just liked it. I remember having my G.I. Joes and playing the thing with my G.I. Joes.
Oh, cool.
Play-Doh, getting Play-Doh. I was big.
Oh, man.
That's a good idea.
Dude.
That's why, I want to get my G.I. Joes back out.
Yeah.
No. There's a point in time in which it's cool and clever, and then you get a certain age where it starts to become creepy.
You just live the life you want to, Tyler.
No, exactly. Don't do that. You have some fucking self-respect, which means not doing things that you want to do.
He can play with.
What about yours?
No, he cannot. He's a grown-ass man.
Yeah, exactly. I use my money.
Let's see. I watched it. I hadn't thought that I watched it, but then when I watched it, I thought I've definitely seen this before. So I can't say for sure. You know what I mean?
You remember the first time you remember watching it?
I don't.
Watching, you were like,
was it recently?
I watched it.
Yeah, definitely recently. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I figured this was a movie you would have watched. Like, did you watch it just because of Cultober?
No.
Okay,
that's good. Yeah,
we were talking about it a while back. I don't remember when it was. We were talking about it a while back, and that's when I actually sat down and watched it. And I was like, I feel like I've seen this before, but
it's a good one. Got it.
Yeah.
And it's
I actually watched both of them because of that.
Oh, back to back. The remake, the prequel thing is like cool only because it's neat to see the attention to detail that they took.
Right. Yeah, they tried, but that
they did. They did. Like I think if the studio had kept their nose out of it and let them, because like the crazy thing about the prequel is they finished the movie with practical effects, then had to go back and cover up with shitty CGI. It makes no sense. Makes zero sense.
Like, not only is that a stupid decision after you've done all that, like that is an expensive, stupid decision.
Yeah, and it made no sense to why it was. Did you guys ever see Harbinger Down? You heard of that?
No.
It's a movie. It's basically a Thing ripoff on a fishing boat. All the effects guys from The Thing, the prequel, made this movie to use their effects that they made for The Thing.
What's it called?
Harbinger Down.
Harbinger.
I'll have to check it out.
It's got Lance Hendrickson in it.
Oh, that's cool. I like Lance Henderson. I'll have to check it out just to see what they were aiming for.
I think it's on Netflix still. I remember I watched it one time on there. Okay. It's pretty. But yeah, it's basically The Thing. It takes place on a fishing boat.
Oh,
so
right on.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, that could be entertaining.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Not perfect, but it's good. It's got good effects. Yeah, so like I don't know why. I don't think there's ever been really any clear answer as to why the studio was like, "Oh, this movie's finished," but hey, cover all those special effects with.
I'm sure they've made some kind of statement.
What year was it made?
2011, 2012. I think maybe like it was probably some weird ass like studio executive who was like, "Oh no, new movies are CGI.
Right.
You gotta have CGI to be a cool movie
CGI
for
is
the
so
kids
hot right now.
The kids will love this CGI."
2011.
Yeah.
And then you ask him what it stands for, and he's like, "It's the new thing."
Yeah.
It's what's hot. It's what's hip. It's what the kids want. That's what it is. It's what makes them jive. But that had to be what it was, because it like makes no sense why you would spend extra money to cover up some of shitty CGI.
You're not bypassing the fact that he just used the word jive.
I did. I watched the episode of Simpsons where Homer joins.
What nobody saw is all three of us in this room paused when you said jive, and Eric was weighing on whether or not to say anything about it.
Well, I thought about it. It kind of just symbolizes how bad the decision was to make.
Yeah, how out of touch the fucking guy was. That's what I imagine. I imagine some out of touch. I just imagine some out of touch fucking studio executive who thinks that he's got to make it hip. I don't know. It just makes no sense why you would do that to a movie, especially when you can go online. You can see like full completed prosthetics and animatronics.
Yeah. I don't want to. That'd just make me mad.
I know. It's like what could have been.
Oh, fuck,
it's wild. It's wild. I remember like it was like just a few years back, the studio or the director like put out a bunch of like behind the scenes shit, like, oh, here's what my movie was supposed to look like, and just drop, people do that every now and then where they'll be like, oh,
see, that kind of shit
did to my movie.
That kind of shit is why I couldn't work in Hollywood. Can you imagine like having that happen, having the CGI turn out the way it did? Because it's a whole nother ball of wax, bless you.
Thank you.
If the CGI is done well.
Right.
But it fucking won't. So can you imagine being that director, have that happen, have the CGI look the way it does, and then you are like, you're professionally expected just to be quiet about it?
Oh, I know.
I'd be throwing gasoline and lighters everywhere.
Who was? Remember that one director of the Fantastic Four movie? Remember he tanked
Josh
his career?
Trank.
Yeah, I remember he tanked his career because he went out and was like, "Oh, wait, they fucked my whole movie up."
No. He fucked his whole movie. That's what killed his career. Is he tried to blame that on Fox?
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So like, he was so verbally abusive to, I think it was Kate Mara is her name, that she broke down, and him and Josh Trank and Miles Teller, who are like really close friends, got into a fist fight. He showed up several times on the set so baked out of his mind he couldn't do anything. Like the guy was just going wild, so they had to step in. Man,
it was a cool cast too. I was excited about that movie.
It was a shitty movie.
I know. I was excited when it came out. The cast, I was like, "That's a pretty cool looking cast." And like, I never watched the movie.
Oh my god,
seen enough. Heard enough about it.
It was breathtakingly awful.
I remember being like disappointed because I was like, I remember Michael B. Jordan being like really popular at that time, and like
for some unknown fucking reason to me.
I think he's a good actor. I like him in Creed. I like the Creed movies. I like him in the Creed movies.
How do you play the same character in Black Panther that you do in Rocky and call yourself a good actor? Get the fuck out of here.
I feel like they're gonna have to bring him back at some point. I feel like they gotta bring him back in those movies somehow.
Killmonger?
I feel like they'll probably do the it's now like what Marvel What If is canon, right?
I heard that they
I think the What If movies are canon, or the What If short films are canon after Doctor Strange
series. Yeah,
after Doctor Strange, I think they're canon.
It was all done after Infinity War.
Yeah,
Endgame.
For sure.
After Endgame, it was done. Yeah, none of this ever happened. Sure. This is a fucking terrible nightmare.
I'm out of the MCU. I watched Doctor Strange. That was pretty good. Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness. That was a pretty good movie.
You like that?
I did. I thought it was pretty cool.
Doctor Strange? Wait.
Yeah,
the new one, the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie. That's the only one I watched after Endgame. Only one I care to watch. And
you didn't see No Way Home?
I watched. Oh yeah, I watched Spider movies. They feel kind of disconnected from, like, I don't know, like the Spider movies are like, they don't feel like they're as polluted by all the Disney shit because they're a separate company. So
yeah, they have their own set of problems.
Yeah, they have to kind of meet in the middle between each other.
But I love No Way Home, but I hated it because I knew it just opened up a whole can of worms that's going to infect the entire Hollywood thing. Where now you can just put anything that's going to make some money, just throw out there, you know. But now that
how's that different?
True. I invented a new way for people to do that now.
Yeah, the problem is what they're going to take the lesson from No Way Home is that you can take different versions of old movies and throw them together without any of the care, explanation, or good writing that went into No Way Home.
People just buy the ticket. It's like that new Flash movie that I don't think is ever going to come out now.
Oh, it will. I expect them to double and triple down on everything.
I feel like that movie's gonna definitely get dropped on HBO because I feel like Ezra Miller, like, he's just unbankable at this point. I feel like they'll probably put it on HBO Max. I want to see it because it has Michael Keaton's Batman in it, but
that's right.
Why?
That's just
after what they did to Kevin Conroy's Batman, why would you give a shit about Michael Keaton's?
I have a soft spot for Michael Keaton's Batman.
They're just gonna shit on him. It's just gonna be.
I know. He'll get in there and he's gonna get his ass kicked by
and it's gonna be a bunch of old
Tina
old
Fey
Batman
or something,
jokes,
and then he'll get his ass
forgot your Batman pens or some stupid shit.
Pens.
It'll be something like that, but man, have we talked about the thing yet?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the thing.
What thing?
I'm looking up the practical effects because you Google image search and here they are, and like the practical effects are so much better than the CGI.
Oh
it's like it. I mean, they made like full suit, like a half body suit for somebody to like actually get in and like operate
parts of it.
Yeah,
like that, huh?
Like it's really heartbreaking that this. Oh, do you want to see it? You guys were like, I don't want to see it.
Oh no, I'm saying I don't want to see it.
Yeah, you can see that's in the beginning.
It's so good, and it's all painted up.
Ben's gonna start crying on the pod. That's gonna be the first time we get Ben to cry on the pod. Show him the pictures.
No, because regardless of how good the practical effects for that movie would have been, it still doesn't overcome the story problems that
Harbinger Down is on Prime, by the way.
Okay, well, I'll check it out. But Eric, do you remember the first time you saw the thing?
So I remember the first experience that I had with the thing because, like Jurassic Park, I only saw a little bit of it, got scared, and didn't watch it for a long time.
Does that surprise anyone?
Right. I don't quite know how old I was, but it was the scene with the paddles where they were trying to revive the guy, and the mouth suddenly opens up and clamps down on his arms. That was the first time I saw it. I saw any part of the thing, and it freaked me out. Like I said, I couldn't watch the movie again for a long time. But this was one of those movies that really this and Jurassic Park really were kind of the ones that really gave me a lot of faith in practical effects work and like really being able to sell your shit, because that was gross. It disturbed me. I was disturbed.
What about you, babe?
I think the first time I saw it was actually with you.
Probably.
Because I remember my dad had talked about it a lot. My dad's a huge horror movie fan.
Science fiction especially. I was actually telling Ben the other day, like, I used to dread when my dad would put on the science fiction channel because I'd be like, oh, I'm going to be so bored. And now that's all we ever have on in the house. So how have the times changed and all stayed the same? But
Yeah, I really, really liked it. It was actually, it's really funny because I think I said in last year's Christmas episode, this was kind of how you got introduced to Kurt Russell, Ben. And then
yeah, probably.
Yeah, so
this
you
is
got
probably
to
the
see,
first one that I saw with Kurt Russell.
So you got to see this side of Kurt Russell on this side of his career, and I was introduced to him by the Christmas Chronicles.
Oh my gosh.
So so just speaking to like an actor's dynamic, what was to come in the future for Kurt Russell at this point was like really cool. That and his character is just fucking badass, man.
Which I want to take this quick opportunity to plug everybody that's listening to us. I have been trying to convince them to do Cult of Kurt Russell next after Campbell, and they're iffy on it. So, bombard them with messages telling them what a good idea that was.
I'm completely fine with it. I think it'd be fun one to do.
I think it would have a lot of variety.
Yeah.
And Kurt Russell's a fucking man.
I think mainly it's just like, now it's just trying to figure out how we're going to do because Call to Campbell is hard enough to keep track of with all the shit we going on now. So, but
it'll be fun.
We'll get it. I want to do it.
So did you know that this is one of the very few large box office movies that actually features no women in the cast whatsoever?
Yeah,
in the actual movie itself.
Right. Huh.
It's all men top to bottom.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never thought about that. Did you notice?
Never get away with
that. I was wondering.
Well, it sure as hell doesn't make sense to lock one woman up with a bunch of guys for 6 months.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. Nope.
But, yeah, so the thing opens up with a dog running through the tundra, or in Alaska, we find out. And it's
Antarctica.
being chased by Antarctica. Yeah. Yes, Antarctica. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Antarctica. And we get a helicopter chasing it, shooting off at it, hunting it down, and it runs up on our camp, which is Antarctica Research Base.
Outpost 31.
Outpost 31.
Ooh, new without looking.
No,
yes.
We have the board game right there.
Oh, you look.
Oh, you guys have it?
You're right.
You guys have you played it yet?
Oh, yeah.
We played it once. It is fun. We'll have to do it. Yeah, it's the thing. Outpost 31.
Yeah, you'll have to bring it whenever we do the.
Ooh, at the theater.
Yeah, because I have a clubhouse too. It's attached to the theater, so it's a big cafe.
I'm sure there's a reality where that makes sense.
But yeah, we should bring it. Because I almost bought that on Prime Day. They had it on sale.
Oh, really?
It's pretty fun.
I almost bought it, but I was like, I don't really have that. Enough people up here to play it, so I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Outpost 31 runs up on there, and this is where all of our characters are,
including the dog Jed.
Yeah,
Jed,
the protagonist of our story.
Oh,
this is one of the few movies, like I've mentioned it a few times on the pod, that I do not like seeing dogs die on camera, even fake.
You don't.
I don't like that at all. The Thing, for some reason, never bothered me. Don't know if it's gruesome. It's one of the most gruesome sequences of animals dying on camera, but that has never bothered me. I don't know why. It never fucking bothered me. It's never been a thing. I've been like, oh god, I hate seeing dogs get shot or ran over or anything like that. But seeing them be assimilated into a big alien organism and melted, I mean, I just apparently doesn't affect me too much.
That's because the Thing was put in there against his will. He had no other choice.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the dogs are the villains in that.
Yeah, they would have. He had to strike while he
had to defend himself.
He had no choice.
Yeah, but so this dog, there's something off about it. I think let's speed through this.
Oh,
so I know we have a lot to do, and I feel like everyone's seen The Thing. So let's get the highlights in.
Yes,
and that way we can stop and talk about things we want to talk about, getting caught up in the whole hitting every detail. I feel like all of our audience has seen this movie.
If you're looking it up online, I would assume that you've seen it.
If you're listening to this, I am assuming that you've seen it.
And if you haven't, then that's your fucking
The fucking thing came out in 1982.
If you haven't, here's a list of highlights. And
sorry for the spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
But The Thing comes in here, and like you said, it's got an all-male cast. And the cool thing about this movie, we're saying The Thing so much, but the cool thing about this movie...
I mean, that's kind of the thing, isn't it?
Shut up. The thing about The Thing?
The thing about The Thing is...
that's a documentary we could make.
Ooh. The Thing about The Thing? Ooh, that would be
Thing about The Thing. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And now, like you said, it's an all-male cast. And it's also it's a sci-fi horror whodunit.
Yeah.
Because it also has that air of mystery, because it does eventually devolve into a kind of figure out who is who. You know, who's the thing, who they say they are. I think the only person you ever really feel is safe is Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
right, and that's because the camera stays with him pretty much.
Yes,
almost the entire
there's a few times, and they kind of flirt with the idea that maybe, but they never make any serious attempt to try to.
You guys want to know a cool cameo? I don't know if you guys know about. There's a really cool cameo in this movie. Do you know the scene where the dog is kind of wandering the base alone, and it goes to that room where you see the silhouette of a man?
Okay.
Who turns, the dog goes in, and that's presumably our patient zero.
Right.
About the certain one. So John Carpenter, to confuse the audience intentionally, that's somebody that's not part of the cast.
Right. Yep. I was actually telling you while we were watching it.
You know who it is?
No, I actually don't.
It's the guy that plays Michael Myers.
Oh, cool.
What?
Yeah, it's the shape. It's the shape.
And he does the sit up and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is awesome.
That is pretty brilliant.
I love that.
So
I'm so glad you told us that.
There's a little like Michael Myers cameo in the
holy cow
the thing. But yeah, it's a cool little cameo. So yeah, he intentionally got someone that wasn't in the movie. That way you can't be like, oh, look at their chin or their hair or whatever.
So
yeah. Although most people I think most people kind of agree that it was patient zero was
Palmer.
Palmer, yeah. Palmer. I feel like Palmer's pretty obvious. Yeah, that's the cool thing. I've watched like several videos where they try to like track the infection through the base.
Need to analyze.
Yeah, well, so you're gonna have to do some speculation because John Carpenter himself said that he purposely didn't do it in a planned way so that it would just appear out of nowhere and random. People off of.
So he didn't really keep
it makes sense.
Tight map. Yeah.
But I mean, it's doable. You certainly can do it.
Right. Yeah. Just his intent.
Yeah, because we know for a fact out of the cast characters, what Palmer, who's the guy whose stomach opens up.
Is it Nelson? Is that his name?
So
Nels?
I've got Knowles.
No, Knowles is the cook.
The cook.
Nope. Yep. That's
Palmer's the assistant mechanic.
Palmer is the
Child. Not
Childs.
It wasn't Dr. Cooper.
Childs. Is
Cooper.
There was Norris.
Norris. Yeah, Norris. We know Palmer. We know Norris. We know the one guy that gets burned alive.
Windows gets turned because he gets caught on fire.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, because after Palmer kills him.
After Palmer bites his head,
you see him start to turn. Which that scene always got me. The part where Palmer fucking lifts windows up over his head. I remember as a kid that being horrifying to me.
There's something about the disjointed movement that simultaneously is ridiculous but also unsettling.
Right. Yeah. It's so obviously like a doll, but that's what makes it so interesting. It's like it looks so inhuman.
Yeah, and you're right. That kind of it's a little unsettling seeing those movements that are almost right, but still really off. And
they also crank up his screams, and whenever it pans over to that happening, you can hear him screaming really good. So
you
combine those things together, and
we know out of all the crew too, like the big bad, like the main organism, the main thing is Wilford Brimley's character.
Dr. Eric, grab the can.
I know. I'm scanning. There's
Wilford Brimley, you dick. Diabetes, motherfucker.
Blair, the senior biologist.
Blair.
There. See, now
who has one of the coolest. aside from McCready, Blair has the better story arc out of the rest of the crew. Because you see him kind of discover the organism, figure out what it is. He goes or seemingly goes crazy, where you think he's sabotaging all the equipment to keep everyone there.
Right.
But then as it progresses, you find out he's actually just salvaging items to build the ship at the end.
But at what point did he start doing that?
Right. That's the odd part too.
I legitimately think that he was turned once he was out at the shack.
After they already brought him out there?
Yeah, after he had his breakdown. Because, he gathered parts and stuff, but I, for the life of me, cannot figure out how the thing thought that there was a benefit to destroying the radio.
That's kind of what I was thinking, except maybe it's
because you feel like he would want. I don't know. I was gonna say I think
it doesn't make sense because
more people.
Warning people is just more people. They're not going to quarantine that place. They're going to be like, "Are you guys on acid up here? What the hell's going on?"
I feel like even if you were like, oh, there's an alien creature. It's assimilating people perfectly and trying to take over our bodies. Like, someone would be like, oh, well, let's go there and try to capture it. Like, it'd be one of those.
They're not going to take you serious at first.
The U.S. military would 100% try to go capture it.
Yeah. Let's go get it for research purposes. If anyone did believe it, the first reaction would be like, oh, they're fucking crazy.
Right.
But I think the next one would be like, wait, if this thing exists,
hold on,
capture and experiment and use it for,
So I can only assume that he was turned once he was out at the shack, and the creature, whoever it was that went out there and turned him, brought the parts out to him.
Or do you think it might have come up from underneath? Like maybe it did the tunnel first and then got him?
There is a part where it comes up from underneath the snow.
How many things do you think there are at one time?
Oh God, that's a good question. Maybe 3. I never pictured more than 3.
I've always assumed it was just the one.
No,
at one time
there was at least 3 at one time.
Was there?
Yeah, because there would be. There would be
off a gut feeling.
There would be Palmer. There would be the guy that got defibrillated, and then there would be Blair.
Yeah, Blair. Okay. That was 4 then.
No, who was the other one?
Windows.
I won't count Windows because I'm talking about like by the time Windows was turned, one of them was already dead.
Okay, so yeah, definitely at one point, Palmer, Norris, and Blair at one point. So we know at one
there's
point
at least 3 at any given time.
Yeah.
Or at least
a max.
Yeah, there has at least been up to 3.
It does a really good job of like in the early stages of the movie too. We actually do get kind of a origins of the what all's going on. So we find out that the what are they again? What's the nationality?
Norwegians.
The Norwegians.
Although Matt keeps calling them Swedes.
Swedes.
Which gets me fucked up on it. I get them crossed. It's like
they're not Swedish, Matt. They're Norwegian.
So they found out that the Norwegians picked up a radio transmission underneath the ice. They dug up. They went to it. They found that there was a ship buried underneath the ice. They
giant ass spaceship.
Yeah. Giant ass one. And then they find that they found the pilot, the organism that was supposedly the pilot of the
ship.
Of the ship. Bring it back to their base where it falls out and basically things the whole camp.
Things the whole camp.
So I want to ask you guys a question.
Okay.
So Predator is a movie that I have said that if I get a chance to show somebody who's never seen it, doesn't know anything about it, if I get that chance again, I'm going to cut off that beginning where the ship like launches him towards Earth,
Yeah.
And just have them go in blind cold. I think The Thing would benefit the same way because it opens up with the ship crashing. I think if you take that out entirely, people have absolutely no fucking idea.
Yeah.
What's cool about that intro though? After the ship, the Thing title card.
Yeah, it's from
the that was practical too.
Yep.
It looked practical.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Sick looking opening.
It involved a fish tank.
Really? They used a fish tank to get that the way that it kind of.
You can look it up. They have a process on how to do it.
Cool.
Yeah, or you can just CGI like the
just like
the remake.
Do you think they practicaled that as well?
The remake one?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's CGI, isn't it?
Well, no, I mean, do you think that they practicaled it and then that was also covered?
Oh, yeah, like they practicaled it and the guy was like, get that out of there. We need a CGI. I can see that. Yeah. I can see that. Because that's the thing about that, the 2011 thing is like all the guys that joined it because it was like a dream project. Like if you're a special effects guy, it's like the Thing is like your Jaws. Like that's like your like I don't know, like your holy grail. That's like your dream projects to work on a thing.
And you have like the guys willing to do it practically. Like
that must have been a dream job for all these guys to get on there, and they all like wanted to like show their appreciation for the original. And sad story.
Still doesn't explain some of that bad writing, though.
I mean,
the VFX guys don't care about the writing.
The one point of writing in the prequel that just irked me because they answered a question that they had no business answering and that they didn't have any reason to answer, and it was a bad move. They answered whether or not people that are the Thing know that they're the Thing. Now, the movie, the original plays it very fast and loose and kind of leaves you to almost assume from a lot of their reactions that they don't know. But the prequel literally addresses it at the end. She talks to that guy and he's like, "Oh, how could you tell that I'm not human?" She's like, "Your earring, it's on the wrong ear." And he's like, "Oh." And you're like, "Oh, well, fuck. Okay, thanks."
Yeah.
Should have just.
I will say, like, I don't hate like the Thing 2011. I don't think is like a complete train wreck as far as writing goes. I think they did.
I don't think it is either, but
I think it's a perfectly serviceable movie. It's not one like I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this. It's one of those movies that like if it's on kind of thing. Like I'm not like
I don't hate it, but it was definitely.
And I really appreciate like the detail and like because like they really did do a good job of like looking at the 1982 thing, seeing the creatures and the damage to the camp, and then recreating that in a narrative, like telling a story backwards. Basically, they had to do.
Yeah,
and they did a pretty good job of that. Like you see the two-faced.
Right, the two faces
thing.
kind
You
of
see how that got made. You see why the door got busted off. You see the axe in the wall. Like you see all these little details. They make sure to like, oh, let's show why this happened.
Right.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought it was music. Earth was playing like some old fucking
music in here.
Yeah, I thought you were playing like some.
That's some fucking weird music, like some German techno music or something.
Oh yeah, train tech baby.
Jesus Christ!
Chug.
Shut.
So the thing, like, with I don't know if like. I don't know if it really needed a prequel, though, is the main thing I have with the thing. The 2011 the thing. See how confusing this gets with all these movies that use the same titles?
Right, yeah.
So stupid.
It really could have just stood on its own.
What else would you have called it?
Harbinger Down and done your original fucking movie.
I would have called it like... I would have called it like, I don't know, The Thing Reborn. I don't know. It's something like... Thing Resurgence? I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Resurgence.
Yeah. What the fuck?
It can't be a resurgence if it's the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And I hate that title. Independence Day killed that title, though.
Oh my god, that movie was so bad.
Yeah.
I'd call it The Thing Assimilated.
Yeah, Assimilation. That'd be a good
Assimilation, maybe.
Couldn't even just add Origin to it? The Thing Origins?
Also a valid.
Yeah, I think Origins. Yeah,
I mean,
like that.
Yeah.
Or you could have just named it after the outpost that the Norwegians were in.
Yeah, you could have called it like The Thing Outpost, something, whatever.
And then,
that'd be an interesting title.
Or
fair, but if they are going to do it,
I mean,
but then name it something.
Just make it make sense. Like,
give us a reason why you're fucking remaking.
Yeah,
because like if I would have named it after the Outpost, I probably would have done it as like an homage to the Thing. I probably wouldn't have tried to have I guess they didn't try to copy.
Yeah, I feel like it is an homage. Like I bet the original movie is great. Like before it got altered, because I bet it was like a really cool love letter to the original movie. With the practical effects and the attention to detail.
Those practical effects. If you are like have a hot second to look at those practical effects, you need to and just take a fucking second, man.
They are cool.
It's amazing.
And I love it when it's like you're running the footage backwards to get all these like crazy like growing effects and stuff like that. Like it makes it look very. I didn't realize it before watching it this time around, but it has a very like plant like quality to it a lot of the time before, except for this, where it's like clearly copying something else, then it starts to look more like an animal, right? But very viney and it's almost like a weed, more of a weed than I thought it was.
Now I know like one of the big things about the 2011 one was they designed a pre-assimilation original Thing, to be like the base alien. They designed, and that's that pixelated thing you see in the ship. That's what it was supposed to be. That they had it designed. That was what the alien was, but then the studio was like, "Oh no, it's a bunch of pixelated cubes for some reason."
Pixelated cubes.
Yeah, when they go in the ship and they're just like that little thing in the center of the.
That's supposed to be like its original form.
Well, that's what the studio changed it to. They had a creature design, like there was a practical creature design.
But once again, you shouldn't be answering this question at all. If you're going to do and I'm not even talking about don't do the movie. Like these are things in your story that you shouldn't touch.
Yeah, well, I think at that point it's
that's bad writing.
Somehow.
Like you should look at that and realize that that's a poisonous trap that you should never touch.
Right?
What does it look like originally?
Yeah, because I feel like there is really like I don't even know how you would even tell that, because I feel like the creature itself is just an amalgamation of everything it's ever touched.
Yeah,
like, what would be the original
cells. I would imagine, like
even if it does have a consciousness, it's probably long since forgotten what it originally looked like.
Right.
And I'm not even convinced it has a consciousness.
Like, I feel like the ship itself isn't even like that creature's ship.
No.
It's taken over a ship of another organism that's assimilated.
I always assume that's why the thing was crashing.
Right.
Why the spaceship was crashing. Because otherwise, wouldn't it be able to fly the damn thing?
Right. Yeah, because there's no damage to it. From the
He's just like, oh shit, I ran out of gas coming in.
It's a struggle and it's over and...
Yeah, that's what I always assume.
He's using the thing's knowledge to build another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing.
Oh, it's a galactic parasite.
What do you think happened to Knowles?
What is it?
What do you think happened to Knowles?
Probably the same thing that happened to El Capitan. Got his.
Oh yeah, that's pretty brutal. One. It's subtle, but it's brutal. I'm getting the fucking finger shoved through his face.
I thought so too. That really disturbed me too, in particular.
And it reminds me a lot of that scene in Saving Private Ryan with the knife, where he's like putting it's all like slow and like it's just like very, I don't know, the pacing of it's really weird. Where it's not like super dramatic. It's just agonizing.
It's really quiet.
Yeah, it's really quiet. Exactly. He's like shutting him up by shoving his fingers to his face.
I agree completely. Like, it does have those same tones as both.
And then he drags him by his face.
Yeah, just pulls him away, and he's still struggling, so it still hasn't quite gotten like all the way through his
brain.
We never officially see what happens to Knowles. We know he doesn't come back again.
Yeah,
but we never officially see what happens to him. I don't know if that's even like explored in like the sequel.
It is
comic.
It isn't.
I mean, because either way, doesn't he get blown up?
Yeah.
Imagine the poor guy just kind of got turned around in the middle of that tunnel. He's looking around. He's like, oh, let me just find a way out here. He gets blown up like after surviving.
The last thing he hears is, "Yeah, fuck you too." Bam.
Oh, hey, McCree. Bam. Just dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the big culmination of the movie is we find out that Blair has basically constructed a little tiny mini space, cute little spaceship. It looks like just like a little tiny
it's like he was gonna cut off his leg and put it in there, and his leg was gonna fly.
It reminds me of stuff you would see like at a state fair or something like that, like a little like exhibit in front of a restaurant. Like that's what it reminds me.
We gotta go. Zordon's calling.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm out here.
Cultober power up. Activate.
Did you say Zordon?
I'll come up with a better story on that.
Oh my god! So, oh man, this is funny. We're going on a trip for a second, so I had to hold up my ID while I was doing something I had to hold up my ID
while you were doing something to what?
It was before her arrest.
So I was at a place that we're not going to talk about, and I had to hold up my ID to the window, and I literally felt like I was going multi-pass. Anyway, that's my story.
Okay.
Multi-pass.
Yes, we know it's a multi-pass. Anyway, we're in the lot.
But
God, I love that movie.
So yeah, he builds like a little tiny little mini spaceship thing. It looks like something you'd see in front of like a hotel in Roswell, New Mexico. You know what I mean? Like a little like junk saucer exhibit. You would see,
like somebody's got it on top of their flagpole and their sign for their hotel.
Can you imagine? The thing is just so desperate that he's like, yeah, this will fly. Yeah.
Wait for these fucking crazy rednecks.
The Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, for real, guys. Leave him alone. He only has the materials at hand to work with.
He's like having an anxiety attack wilderness.
Yeah, it's like he watched
fucking people find me.
It's like he watched the Jetsons and was like, I'll just make that. That's what it looked like.
Oh, we fucking know he could have come from the Jetsons.
Yeah. Man, it was like a prison escape. He had dug the hidden underground tunnel and he had it cleverly. Oh, it's Shawshank Redemption for aliens. Boom. There it is.
You know what I really like talking about like crossovers? I like the.
That is not a crossover.
Well,
that will never be a crossover.
Okay.
The Jetsons. The Archie comics crossovers. You guys ever seen those?
No.
Archie, they've crossed over with Friday 13th.
No. I remember them crossing over with the Punisher.
They did the Predator.
God,
Predator came out 2 years ago. Archie versus the Predator. wonder if they ever did a
Predator.
Yeah,
Who wins?
Predator. They're pretty graphic too. They're like no holds barred. Like,
oh my gosh,
yeah, like it's really they do like these all the time. I wonder if they've ever done like an Archie and
no
thing.
idea.
They have not. Yeah, there's all kinds of Archie. They do like annual like crossover. Like it's like always out of the left field, like crazy something. But now they haven't done the thing. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting crossover. But yeah. So they Blair made a little spaceship. McCready leads the rest of our survivors down to the tunnels that have been dug underneath the Outpost 31 and blows up the entire outpost.
All of the things hard work.
It's gone.
Yeah.
All of it gone, in the matter of seconds.
So hard, just trying to,
Because this fucking dude in a sombrero came down and fucking blew up his ship.
Right. Like, he didn't come in and blow up their stuff.
No, he just morphed them and, like...
Guy's kind of yeet. I don't know.
He was fine with the dog, and they had to provoke him, and
seriously. He was, he ran up like, hey, help, He came to them for help.
That. I mean...
These crazy Swedes or Norwegians or whoever were chasing them.
Yeah.
Norwegians. No.
And then we find out that Childs also survived.
Yes.
We have Childs and McCready, and they sit down and have a drink. And there's basically, from what I can tell, like the way the movie ends, it's a very bleak ending where they survived, but they're definitely going to die. It's
right.
Like basically the ending you're to get from it, because there's no radio, there's no escape.
They've cut
Antarctica.
off all the communications.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're going to stay by the fire. But then there's also the paranoia that maybe they didn't kill all the things. And one of them is the thing.
It's ambiguous whether or not one of them is the thing.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the terrifying part for me, because I'm already a paranoid person, so I feed into that a lot easier. That and just like the way they ended it with the music and the atmosphere that they were creating, it was very, very, I don't want to use the word jarring, but almost.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like it.
It's a different kind of ending. That's something John Carpenter is always, he's at least, I think that's what makes him a memorable director, is that he takes risks like that. So I think that's interesting way to end it. And it is different than other movies you see where it's not the big, like, we killed the monster, and now here comes the ship that's supposed to save us. Here's the helicopters landing.
Oh, you're right. It didn't end with the rescue team coming in. Yeah, you're right.
They were the rescue team. They were like, no, and I mean, that was settled pretty early on in the movie too, where they're like, we're not getting out of this. And that's something that I didn't catch like the previous times that I had watched the movie, when Kurt Russell looks over at I think it's no, how do you say Noel? Noel, sorry.
Childs. Knowles is the cook who died or disappeared.
But he did say this to Cook, to Knowles.
Knowles, and I think he said it to the other doctor, Hopper, and he said, like, we're all gonna die. Like, none of us are gonna live.
No one's making it out, I think.
But neither is that thing.
And there we have it. 1982's The Thing. We talked about it quite a bit.
And then some.
Yeah. These are fun episodes. See, that's why we need to do Call to Life, so we actually have an outlet to talk about this nonsense.
Right, that's true.
But there we have. That was 1982's The Thing, and I think we should go ahead and get into our next segment where we rate it.
Where we do the Cultober rating. The rating.
Yeah, let's get into it again. Oh, how do we?
Is it Smashing Pumpkins?
Here comes the transition.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
1982's John Carpenter classic, The Thing, was not received very well by the critics when it came out, but I think definitely in the time following, it has become one of the crown jewels of the horror genre.
Oh, absolutely,
highly regarded amongst everyone. That's the thing with John Carpenter is, if you ever look at his movies, like just about all of his movies, aside from like the Halloween movies, are like the actual flops.
In the beginning.
They flop, they get critically panned, and then a few years later, everyone's like, "Oh wait, that was actually a really good movie."
Yeah,
like it seems like aside from the Halloween movies, that happens consistently with his film.
Yeah, Clive Barker's like that too, though.
Really?
Yeah.
His stuff always misses.
Have you guys ever seen the James Wood vampire movie he did?
Yeah, it's on. Oh, no. That's John Carpenter's Vampires. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, I watched that. That's the one John Carpenter movie I watched. I actually had I kind of enjoy the beginning of it. The whole team of cowboy vampire hunters.
It is such a weird movie.
But then, it's like So they're a team of vampire hunters that are paid by the Vatican to hunt vampires in the United States. They're kind of like cowboy type dudes. You know, they're just kind of like roughnecks or whatever.
Right.
And like that part is interesting. It kind of gets wild after that.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, there's 3 of those movies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the second one stars Bon Jovi.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Speaking of trilogies, The Thing is actually part of a trilogy.
Yeah.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, somewhat.
A trilogy of remake prequel reboots.
No. I'm talking about the John Carpenter Apocalypse trilogy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's
right. The unofficial trilogy.
Yeah.
Are you aware of this, Urs? The unofficial trilogy?
No.
Yeah, so the unofficial trilogy, the Apocalypse trilogy is The Thing, Mouth of Madness, and what's the third one?
Prince of Darkness. So John Carpenter directed 3 movies at which the world ends. Like at the end of it, it's like, okay, this is how the world ends.
End of world scenarios, yeah.
And it's The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and Mouth of Madness. Although in the Mouth of Madness is the one where you actually see the world end.
That's a wild one. That's a wild flick.
Yeah. It's a masterpiece of a movie.
I think I've seen like the Prince of Darkness once. I don't think
I actually enjoyed it.
John Carpenter is like one of those guys too, has a really weird career, and like there's shit out there you don't realize he's like done. Like I talked about this like forever ago on an episode, like years ago. I still lived in Chillicothe when I talked about this, and I kind of remember me bringing it up. There was a movie I watched on Tubi called Silent Predators. It's this rattlesnake movie that used to be on like the USA Network all the time.
Oh, I vaguely remember you talking.
It's a really bland, just weird movie. You know, a small town gets invaded by genetically enhanced rattlesnakes, and they're all practical rattlesnakes. Like there's never any shots of like, you know, it's always someone looking over their should, close up rattlesnake. I got bit by a rattlesnake, and you know that's it. But fucking, I watched that movie just because I remember watching as a kid. Written by John Carpenter.
Written
by John Carpenter, yeah. Wow. Random ass, like, I think it had like a budget of like
$10,
1.2 million, something like that. And it was on. Yeah, I mean, you take in the effects and that shit. $1 million don't get long in movies.
I mean, that's true, but still, just the fact you could get that much money for.
Well, it was USA Network. When they would do USA used to do like some pretty cool, like it was they did like made for TV movies all the time, like really cheap action movies and horror movies and stuff. Yeah. Mosquito, that's a movie I watched on USA Network.
Mosquito's a pretty cool B class.
I know, we should do that one time. I think me and Ben would at least enjoy doing that. I have it on Blu-ray. I have it on Blu-ray. Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray if I ever watch it. I used to be terrified of that movie. I wouldn't go camping for a while after watching that.
So we should do a double feature. We should do Mosquito and Ticks.
And Bugathon.
Called our Bloodsucker series.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, we should. I'm down for that, Ben. Me and you've been wanting to do a show for a while. That could be it. we do creature features.
I don't remember negotiating this ever.
Well, we talked about doing a show. Let's do creature features.
Yeah, I would do a creature feature show. Listen, a lot of Lord's eating up a lot of my time right now.
Yeah,
but it would be a good one to do at the opening of summer. All the insects are coming out.
Ooh. Hell yeah! I used to be terrified to go camping after watching that movie when I was young, and also if I was like in bed and I heard like buzzing, from like the fridge like that, it would scare me because I thought it was giant mosquitoes coming to suck the blood out of me. But yeah, weird things I was afraid of when I was a kid. But
it kind of makes sense. You don't want someone to drink your blood.
But I think we've all talked about The Thing, and I'm fairly certain that this is one of those movies that is you can see from a mile away how it's going to get rated. But for the sake of the show, we have to rate it.
Of course.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, Bailey, what do you rate The Thing?
Oh,
and what are your thoughts on it?
The best rating ever. A 5.
5 what?
5 huskies.
5 huskies.
That's all I can think of.
5 out of 5 huskies.
I love it. So I had heard a lot about this movie before I'd actually seen it, and once I saw it, it lived up to all of the expectations that I had of it. It was actually scary. It was disturbing. The practical effects, because I verified with everyone, like, this was all done practically, right? Like, aside from the
spaceship,
spaceship
had some special effects that were drawn on, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just spectacular, and like the way that they make the thing look wet Like, I know they're in Antarctica and everything's supposed, is really cold, and it's supposed to be thawing, but it's just something disturbing about something like looking constantly moist.
Yeah.
Like a sticky.
Yeah, like a goopy,
slimy.
Yeah, slimy. Slimy's a good word. Yeah, I loved it. And Kurt Russell can do absolutely no wrong, none whatsoever.
True. I'm going to come in. I'm going to rate it. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 sombreros. That's what
5 out of 5 sombreros.
That's what Mac was wearing.
Yeah.
I love seeing Kurt Russell tramp around in Antarctica with a shotgun and a sombrero.
And a really nice beard.
And a really nice beard. That is just iconic cinematography right there.
Oh my God. What if like Mac didn't actually die? He just became Santa Claus. And that's how we got the Christmas Chronicles.
So that's reaching in the headcanon there.
The elves are like, oh my God, what do we do with this guy?
Yeah. You want to deliver presents to kids? Do you guys know about, you guys ever watched Hateful Eight, I'm sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a Thing remake that was.
What is it?
What?
Hateful Eight, that's what Tarantino basically did, a Thing remake. That's what he did. Right? It's a Thing remake, but with, non-alien.
Well, I'm definitely.
It's the whole whodunit, people isolated in the middle of a snowstorm. That's what he said. And the music used in it is recycled music from Ennio Morricone's original soundtrack to The Thing.
I did read that, but however, I still don't know that I ever remember anybody giving Knowles a blowjob at gunpoint.
No, well, we don't know what happened.
Or Childs, for that matter.
We don't know what happened in those tunnels.
We don't. Yeah,
I think we can
there was an explosion. I don't know.
There was an explosion.
It really got blown, didn't it?
Well, that's what he kind of stuff to do. I mean, it's not an exact remake, but his intention was to kind of do he's kind of structure as the Thing. At the end, they come out of the floor and all that shit, and that was his idea behind the Hateful Eight. That's why he used some of the music from Ennio Morricone's recycled Thing soundtrack and all that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you got Kurt Russell in it. And,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I give it 5 out of 5 sombreros. I think that movie is fantastic. The Thing is one of those movies I don't think I would ever say no to watching. If he wants to watch it, I can sit down and watch it and be thoroughly enjoyed at any time. I just really like this movie. It's fun. It has good soundtrack, good actors, good action. Every time I know who's who and what's what happening, but I still just am able to get engrossed in the movie every time.
Yeah, right on.
Eric.
Me? It's going to be me. All right. 5 out of 5 slimy tentacles. Of course, everybody talks about the special effects, but the acting is also absolutely fucking phenomenal.
It is.
You believe the situation because they do. And so we can't undersell that at all. And that's every single one of them. I don't think there was a weak performance out of the whole cast that I can think of.
The dog didn't really sell it for me. I didn't believe that was a dog. I knew that was an alien just looking right at him. Who the hell taught that alien how to run?
I know, right? It's terrible that.
Well, the dogs were actually outsourced from Bulgaria. They were Bulgarian dogs. They dressed up as huskies.
See, not even the dogs in Bulgaria are worth filming.
No.
So yeah, great performances, great. The theme is fucking awesome. Just the mistrust that this creature builds is just so much of what this movie is. And then the gross out stuff. It's just a great, all around. 5 out of 5 slimy tentacles. Please keep them out of my mouth.
That was a weird addendum to add at the end.
I don't like tentacles in the face, man.
Are we still talking about tentacles?
We're talking about the Thing here.
Yeah, I know we're talking about a thing.
I want the 5 out of 5 tentacles that I give this movie to stay out of my face and orifices and everything else. I don't want to be assimilated, Bailey.
What about you, Urs?
Well, it is a classic.
Yes.
It is a classic.
It's a great movie. If for some reason you're watching this or you're listening to this and you haven't watched it yet, fuck you doing? Just go watch it.
Yeah.
Turn this off right now. Go watch it.
Yeah. Well, there's really no need to watch it now.
We're getting spoilers.
We so masterfully recreated the movie. I don't think there's really any reason to watch it.
Dude, we spoiled it in the first 10 minutes.
I know, yeah.
I give it a 5 out of 5 tiny spaceships.
5 out of 5 tiny
spaceship.
Right on, so I guess it just leaves me.
It does.
I'm
going to give it 5 out of 5 questionably placed flamethrowers.
Yes.
Why did an Arctic research base have flamethrowers?
We didn't bring up the flamethrowers at all, but
no. But
Right.
this movie is
Oddly
a classic for all the reasons that everybody's listed and all the ones that we haven't listed. It's got a director who's doing the best at what he does best. You've got an FX crew that is pioneering their way into some stuff that has never been seen before and has very rarely been replicated since.
Yeah.
You've got a cast of terrific actors, all of them firing on point, doing what they need to do when they need to do it, and making you buy every second of it. The film barely has a scrap of fat on it. It comes in at an hour and 10 minutes, which is more than respectable for the story it tells.
Yeah.
So you're in and out. Like, I mean, damn.
Yeah.
It's an impressive feat. It's an impressive feat of filmmaking.
Yeah, so streamlined. Yeah, I don't think people really talk about the runtime of it being just around 70 minutes.
Just a smidge over an hour long.
Yeah, because there really isn't any point where it's just like, oh my god, hurry things up. It's like boom, 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 and they wrap the story just so well.
Yep,
they really do.
The pacing on this movie is top notch.
It really is on point. You're right.
Which is something I'm a big proponent of.
Yeah.
Cultober Cultober exclusive review number 4 in the can.
Boom.
We've got Halloween Tree next Friday, and that's leading up to big Halloween special of Beetlejuice.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Careful, that might be the second time we've said it on this
I was getting ready to say that is the second time we've said it.
We're keeping track.
And if you like 1982's The Thing, next Monday we have something almost like The Thing that stars Bruce Campbell.
So almost like is the same as not at all.
It's like the equivalent of like those Great Value. Well, I wouldn't even say Great Value. I'd say what's that brand? Clover Valley, the brand they sell at Dollar Generals. It's like that of products. We're doing the Sci-Fi Channel original 2002's Terminal Invasion, starring Bruce Campbell, which is a very loose adaptation of The Thing, directed by Sean S. Cunningham, the creator of Friday the 13th.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh.
And it stars Bruce Campbell, so we're doing that because the Cultober, the return is also the return of Cult of Campbell, so that's our next Monday's episode of Cult of Campbell, and we're all going to be there to compare the cinematic equivalents of Terminal Invasion of The Thing.
And The Thing. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that they were comparable, let alone so related. No kidding.
In some ways. There's some loose similarities between the
similarities.
two.
Okay, I'm gonna keep those words in my brain.
We can draw from. I mean, they're sci-fi didn't get that. Sci-fi didn't get that John Carpenter directed Thing sequel miniseries, but they got Sean S. Cunningham's Terminal Invasion.
Oh man,
fair trade.
You have me so excited for it. I can't wait.
That's coming up next Monday, but we just talked about 1982's The Thing, and I believe this is probably, I don't know if this is the first time, but 5 out of 5 across the board.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that's the first time, but it's definitely one of the few times.
Halloween was definitely...
Halloween? I was going to say.
Halloween was unanimous for sure.
Yeah, our second John Carpenter movie in our Cultober tradition. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was 1982's The Thing. Happy Cultober.
Happy Cultober. I swear all of us are human on this recording.
We are all human.
Definitely.
You keep adding weird addendums to shit. You need to stop that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what a human would say.
Yeah. Hey,
you want to make sure that everyone around you are constantly reassured that you are human and not a symbiotic.
Hey, Eric?
I'm going to cut him, babe. You light his blood on fire.
No fire. No fire. No need for fire. Oh, God.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's been The Thing. Happy Cultober. I've been Ty.
I'm Ben.
I'm Bailey.
Eric.
And Ursa.
There.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube at CultTalkNet for all the Cultober specials we're putting out as our month-long celebration of everyone's favorite month, everyone's favorite season, Halloween season.
Oh.
And with that, happy Halloween, happy Cultober. We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
Jesus.